It's time for the SVU After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are talking Season 21, Episode 3, Down Low in Hell's Kitchen. That's right, we have the Jussie Smollett discussion to be had. Stick around.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, welcome to the SVU After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. It's been a while since I've heard this song.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so excited. This is Season 21, Episode 3, Down Low in Hell's Kitchen. I'm Yael Tygiel. I am not down low, and I'm not in Hell's Kitchen. I'm joined by Miss Taylor Gates.
Woo, hello.
And the return of Isabelle
Yes.
Welcome back.
Feels great to be reunited. Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here, especially for our 21st season.
Thanks.
The audience is going crazy.
I can
going
feel
nuts.
it. Thank you. Stop.
I really wish everyone could see who she's telling to stop.
It's like my backpack. Like
Yes, your backpack is loud.
Box of Kleenex. It's fine.
so supportive.
Before we jump into this episode and discuss the Jussie Smollett case, that's right, we are not. This is like the Caleb Bryant episode. Real subtle. Before we jump in, I would like to remind everyone of the RAIN hotline. If you need it, please contact RAIN. The hotline is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. 4673 spells
Hope.
Yeah!
That was really
Everyone
cute.
knows. I love
Mind
it.
meld.
It's great. Also, sometimes the show will go dark and therefore we will go light. And so please consider this your content warning before we say anything that offends you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now I can say offensive things. What did you all think of this episode?
I thought it was kind of slow in the beginning.
Okay.
Actually, and then when it picked up to when it starts to touch, I go, this is the Jussie Smollett thing. Okay, all right, let's get into this. So then I liked it, but in the beginning I was a little, I don't know, I was waiting for it to pick up.
Okay.
Yeah. I somehow forgot that this was the Jussie Smollett case, even though you told me on the last show, and I'd seen like a million tweets about it. I literally went in like blind, like I had forgotten about that. So, and I remember when this was first announced that they were going to cover this case, I was worried. I was a little worried, but I think for like ripping that from the headlines, I think that it was a good episode.
Okay.
Considering that it was ripped from those headlines.
I think the way that they chose to handle it was correct and responsible.
Yes.
In that, because it would be very terrible of SVU to be like, this didn't happen.
Yeah.
What a liar.
Yeah.
And so the way that they handled it was so, I think, smart.
Yeah.
But I agree it was a little slow. I also have multiple episode references to other episodes, and I was like, this is like that, and this was like that.
Yeah.
The usual yell, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
encyclopedia.
I mean, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start at the top, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, God. Okay. Because it really, like, the whole top, anyway. So Benson gets a phone call that someone's been attacked. They're not going to report it. She talks to Finn, asks Ken for help. I did appreciate this moment where she's like, Ken still works at the Gay Men's Center. And he was like, it's LGBTQ.
That's right.
That's right.
King.
Yeah, and of all people, it's Finn who
Yeah.
corrects it. Like it seems like, oh, you've grown and evolved, because I feel like in the beginning when we saw Finn and his relationship with his gay son, it was kind of rocky.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's gotten a lot of awareness over the years.
Absolutely. 2019, they know the letters, which is weird because if you recall when we had PC, the episode with Kathy Griffin, it was that she also was like LGBTQ.
Yeah.
So it's weird that we have to rehash that in 2019.
But we do.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's
Like
true.
Also,
Yeah.
it's LGBTQ plus, guys. Just
they're
if we wanna-
almost there.
They're so close.
So
They're
close.
just right behind. So Finn visits Ken. All of our victims are down low black men. For those who don't know what that means, may I recommend an episode I'm pretty sure is just called Down Low?
Actually, you know what? I looked this up because I was like, oh, down low. It sounds familiar. I mean, obviously, I know the context of it. But can I just read it really quick?
Yeah.
From Wikipedia.
Oh,
here?
sorry. The episode was called Low Down, not
Low,
Down Low.
oh.
My
Vice
bad.
versa.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yes.
Switch-
Oh, I
Switchies.
kept saying what you were saying.
The previous episode? So it's
Oh.
sorry. Someone
Sorry.
is down low. The
Yes.
previous episode where we explained what that means is called Low Down.
Oh, okay, I see.
And it's in season 5, episode 20.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, so it's a specific term, I guess, slang for the African American community. Now, when we say somebody hasn't come out yet, usually, we hear it in the context of you're still in the closet. But they don't use that for themselves either, because that's almost, they want to reject that white culture reference. So they use down low instead, specifically for young urban Black men who have this double lifestyle.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are new, we previously used to have the Isabelle Info Corner where Isabelle goes, here's some facts.
Yeah.
I did research.
Here we go.
I love it.
I touched it a
love
little bit
that.
on it today.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So then we meet Mathis Brooks, who is a musician. I have to call out who his agent is, played by the one and only Curtis Armstrong, who is incredible and amazing. And had I thought about it, would have asked him to come in.
Fishy?
Yeah, Fishy.
Fishy.
He played Fisher. Was his name?
Fish.
Fish. And at this moment, it reminded me of season 9, episode 16, Closet, where the football player, he's gay and his partner is murdered. And it turns out that it was his agent who murdered him because he was about to come out.
Yeah.
I was like, if Curtis Armstrong is the murderer,
We
I'm
are
going to be so mad.
Go.
So Mathis Brooks goes to this gay bar. He's approached by some guy who wants a selfie. He freaks out and leaves. And then he's found on the street by the cops.
Yes.
So then we meet with Chief Garland, who I believe this is our first time meeting him.
I like him a lot.
He's replacing Dodds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too.
I love him. I think he's so level-headed. Great intro to this new character.
Yeah.
And I trust him. Like, I don't trust Hadid, but I trust this guy because, especially the quote, if the stats go up, good, it means people trust us enough to disclose. I loved that. I loved that perspective that he's bringing to that. And, I mean, we'll talk about it more later in the episode.
Yeah.
But he really just gets down in the trenches when he needs to.
Yeah.
Yep.
He steps up.
He's Team SVU.
He
Yes.
is. And, Benson says he's methodical and thoughtful and Ivy League educated. I appreciate Finn going, then why is he a cop?
And I was like, I gotta make a note of this because I wonder if there's gonna be more backstory to that.
Yeah, I wrote that line down too.
Ooh. What if, not to get into predictions, but what if later in the season we have an episode about his backstory? Ooh, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
there has to be.
we find out that the perp tases victims and sodomizes them with a bottle. No one is reporting. We have another victim. It's Mathis Brooks. They all are assuming he is straight, but he has a big gay following. His agent Fishy is like, he's friends with all types. He's all about people being who they are. He's an ally. And then he points out the women he's been with.
Ariana, Halsey, kid gets more ass than a toilet seat.
Yup.
Okay.
I like that he's like, pardon my French. I was like, what are you about to say?
I just love it when they name drop real life celebrities.
Yes, totally.
Ariana, Halsey.
I would love to get a comment from Halsey and Ariana Grande herself. Like, what do you think?
How do you feel about this?
Also, I mean, I'm a big fan of Halsey. I don't know that she is the one you'd use as a cover.
Right.
Yeah. This feels so. Do you watch Empire?
No.
No, it feels very much like Jussie Smollett's character in Empire because he is a musician, he is this pop star, and he's with these like gorgeous women, but then he's actually gay. So I was like, oh, that feels really. They kept it in that, I don't know, that framework of Empire.
That's smart.
They kind of just, crossed the real life with his other character.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, if you're gonna fake it, if you're gonna try to cover what you're doing.
Yeah.
So then we find we go to see him, Mathis, in the hospital. I want to talk about this nurse for a second.
Right.
This nurse was amazing.
We've either seen him or, not to jump ahead, but we might see him later in the season.
Yes.
This nurse, we've met this nurse, or we're going to meet this nurse. I don't remember which other episode it is.
I could tell you the answer to that.
Oh, please do.
We will see him again.
Okay, I would love to see him again.
Wait, how did you figure that out?
Because I looked up who he is. So the actor is Stephen Whalum. I don't know how to say your last name, sir. I'm sorry. What's interesting is that he was on Nurse Jackie. I never watched that show, but he played a nurse there as well.
I love that he's typecast as a nurse.
But he's like this nurse. He was like a sassy nurse.
He's great.
He was like, I told him that you'll respect his privacy, and you will, right?
He's looking out. I appreciate that.
And then he's like, Mathis, this is Benza. I told you she was cool. Okay, nurse.
He seems like one part,
Yes.
one part bouncer to like these exclusive
Yeah.
VIP service, and one part, nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hospital bouncer. I love that.
I love it. So we find out that Mathis was found under scaffolding. He was tased. He was bent over. He was called the F word and the N word. He saw the guy who it was. He was white. He had long hair. He had a beard and a hoodie. And then Finn's like, "Do you stop anyone you're walking?" He's like, "No." Which then cuts to Rollins seeing on Instagram a selfie with a fan. So the guy from the bar, he's like, "I don't like tourists. He's so deep in the closet, he's past Narnia." What a good line.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too.
It's so good.
The cops are on Instagram. I also liked that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Hello.
Do you not know
Duh.
how many cases get thrown out because of social?
Right. Or people get leads because of social. Like,
Right.
everyone uses social to investigate now.
Yeah, that's how you check an alibi.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too ahead here, but like when Mathis says like he saw the person, obviously we kind of know what happens, but I feel like he shouldn't have said anything.
Right.
You know, if you're trying to keep up this ruse, you could have just, I don't know, take out that fact, especially if these have been not reported.
Right.
And that's what confused me. Like I said, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it's kind of like, how is he aware of the situation when no one's reporting these assaults?
Yeah.
Excellent
To
question.
capitalize on these crimes.
It's also interesting because later, not to jump all the way to the end, but later, Fisher says, like, if you guys hadn't have found the guy, he would have gotten away with this lie. Yeah, why did he tell us what the guy looked like then? If no one else has seen him, then you also have not seen him.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, this is how you lie.
Lying
Hello.
101.
So then we find, we go to Garland. And we talk about how Mathis left out that he went to the bar, and he says it's not unusual for victims to leave out details that make them look, I think the word is bad.
Gay.
Finn jumps in with gay. So good.
Saying what some of the audience is thinking.
Yeah.
Knowing your audience.
Yeah.
So good. Benson asks if he wants him to shame a celebrity to come out just to publicize the case. He says not to shame, but to motivate. And this is where I was like, I'm not sure I like this dude.
Yeah.
Because that's not SVU values.
Right. Yeah, true. But I think I feel like there was a little bit of butting heads and to say shame, but then turn it to motivate. I actually had an aha moment. I was like, you know what? I can see there's some good that can come out of that.
Yeah.
When he said motivate, I could see where his intentions are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, for the greater good. Like, let's
Yes.
just try to, let's see what we can do here. Not like, oh my gosh, yell at him until he does it.
Right.
Like, let's just see if we can work with this.
Yes.
But I understand your perspective too.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you for understanding.
Yes.
So Benson and Finn go to Mathis. We're worried that someone's preying on gay men who are afraid to report. He's like, if I made a public statement, it wouldn't matter. Who cares if people think I'm gay? I should do this. I should take one for the team. So then he's like, what happened to me could happen to anyone. They're targeting members of our community. And that's when he like fully comes out. And I personally think that he could have, if he didn't want to come out, he did not have to in that moment.
Yes, I agree. It felt so like he came out so voluntarily.
Right.
It felt like there was no hesitation, no reservation about it. It would have been, I don't know.
It kind of makes it, when you get to the end where you find out why, you go, oh, we should have put this together.
Yeah.
True.
Because
Right.
no one,
there was no hesitation whatsoever.
Yeah, you gave up that so willingly, like no second thoughts
Right.
about it.
Right.
no one, I mean, I don't know anyone who's like, I'm not coming out. I can't, I'm not ready, to being like, yeah,
You know what?
I'm out.
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a much harder, well thought out I think, experience for somebody. And so
Yeah,
it
for sure.
just felt very like an afterthought for him.
Right.
Like it was such at a whim.
Yeah. So then we meet Devon, who comes in with Ken. He tells us that he was at a bar, but he kept to himself. He was walking the subway and he was attacked. He goes to the bar on Tuesdays, but he remembers a guy from a month prior. Some white guy was giving him a hard time, asking him about his wife. Another victim calls. Rollins go and talk to him. Does he remember anybody asking about his wife? Yeah. It was a Tuesday. Tuesdays, man. In July.
Tuesdays,
It's a
man.
blue-collar looking white dude. Then we get a third guy who's a coach, I guess. He was on a
Yeah.
field. He remembers the toes of the boots were covered in paint. Did anyone ask you about your wife and family? Yeah, some white guy.
As a matter of fact.
Interesting. You should bring that. And I think that's where it's kind of like, oh, interesting, because Mathis doesn't have a wife.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, well,
Oh,
he doesn't
yeah.
he doesn't fit the pattern. It's kind of an outlier.
Good call. Did not even occur
I
to
didn't
me.
either. Just hanging
Yeah.
out with Ariana and Halsey.
So this point, I was like, this is right. We keep getting this guy who is attacking guys who are on the down low, and it reminded me of season 14, episode 12, Criminal Hatred, which is, thank you, where you have the gay hustler who's attacking closeted gay men,
yeah.
and he's specifically attacking men who are straight passing because he's not.
Right.
Do you remember this
yes,
episode?
I do remember that.
Oh my god. So I was like, wait a second, I've seen this one. Again. Ugh. This show, man.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
you know what I thought was funny for the term for that in this episode was like tourist.
Yeah, I liked that.
I've never heard that. I don't know if that's a usual term that people use for.
Right, I don't know that I've ever heard that used.
I haven't either.
But I really like it's
It painted a picture.
it tells you what it is.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Hadid comes into play now. Hadid.
Hadid.
No
so-
relation to Gigi and Bella.
Probably not. We don't know.
She's shady though.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
So what do we have? We have 4 victims. They were all tased and assaulted with a bottle. They're not going to testify. She suggests subpoenaing them. Again, you don't seem to understand SVU values, ma'am.
She doesn't understand anything about this whole squad.
No.
So
Uh-uh.
funny. Garland stands up and he's like, they're living double lives. We can't ask them to come in. So then they point out that Mathis' story is a bit different. He's the only one claiming he saw the guy, but it's a different description. So we can't use it to prove the pattern. So then we have someone go undercover.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yes, we do. This was my favorite part of the
Me
episode, by the
too.
way.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the way it played out.
I loved that.
Yes.
Thanks. So Finn says, don't take it the wrong way. Beer is type. I mean, Finn also could play the type, just to be fair. Like,
Yeah,
put him in a
but-
suit.
Yes, but I mean, he's so 2AT the type.
I
Yes.
know. I'm just saying, Finn could have done it. He's a little bit older.
Yeah. It was too perfect to not
No, for
use
sure.
him, though.
That was the opportunity.
Carisi's clearly jealous at how many guys are
That's
hitting
what
on
the
him.
5th guy in the hour. Chief can pull. Love that.
So fun.
Chief can pull.
Carisi, what do you... Listen.
Put me
Barba
out, coach. Put me out there, coach.
Barba is at home waiting for you. I don't know why you're jealous. Anyway, so nothing yet. Garland spies a guy with a white guy with red hair. He starts talking to him about his wife. Garland leaves. He follows him. Finn follows, tells Carisi to go get the DNA. And luckily, Rollins stops him before he tases.
I was a little worried.
I
close.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick of time.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was going to at least tase him.
Me too.
And I was very concerned.
worried.
But I like that he was like, thank you for getting him before he tased
Yeah.
me.
I feel like he was also a little bit like, okay, well, you could have maybe jumped in a little earlier.
Right.
I feel like he was like, well, thank you. It's about time.
Question.
Yes.
So when he told Carisi, when Carisi was told, hey, get the bottle.
Yeah.
Which bottle?
Sorry. Carisi was told to get the napkin that
Oh, the
had
napkin. Okay.
Jeffrey Morgan's DNA on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't say because he put the bottle. Got it.
He put the bottle in his pocket.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent question, though, because it was very smoothly done. I was
It
like, what is he
was.
putting in his pocket?
Yeah.
The
The DNA on a napkin?
when you
Yeah.
wipe your face. If you like wipe your mouth.
Saliva.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Okay,
some
true.
skin cells here and there.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
true.
know.
True.
Fingerprints. Thanks. I'm a forensic scientist. All right. So Jeffrey Morgan is our guy. He's all butthurt that Hell's Kitchen became super gay.
Just because there's a rainbow flag on the door doesn't mean I can go where my grandpa laid brick. What?
Is laying brick like laying pipe, but with men? I'm very confused. That was a sex joke, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry. So sorry.
We needed one of those.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So he was seeing his parole officer. He sees him on Tuesdays, and then he gets a drink. Hadid wants to call the victims in for a lineup, but Mathis is the only one who saw his attacker. This is the moment where she's like, he described someone else, so this is a mistake.
Right.
We shouldn't bring him in.
Which one of these is not like the other?
Yeah.
Right. He comes in, he can't ID him. Apparently, he keeps asking on the drive over. He asked Rollins what number he should pick.
I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, dude, what? Like,
I just...
how do you think she's
Dum-dum.
going to tell you that?
Also,
Give me the answer now.
why would she let him do the lineup if that was his behavior?
Right.
That's going to
True.
take a case. If he
Yeah.
were to do it correctly, or if he were to pick out the guy, that would have... as his defense attorney, would have gotten that thrown out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Yikes.
As a lawyer
Yeah.
and a CSI. All right.
As a graduate of SVU University,
Not Hudson.
not Hudson.
So anyway, he's remanded to Rikers because he was arrested on parole. His defense attorney reveals there's footage that makes Mathis look like he set it up because his brother bought a taser. Then Mathis made it up. Hashtag starts trending. So Mathis reveals he was attacked. He's like, you saw me at the hospital. Why would I make something like that up? And then suggests that maybe it was a copycat or something else. And then Benson's like, maybe he copied it. Maybe he piggybacked on it. Interesting. So they're like, he didn't tase himself. We talked to his brother. His brother likes gadgets. We know this because he has a drone.
And he's VRing, like, he's playing with the VR.
Yeah.
And also, we say the word gadget like so many times.
I like gadgets. I have a drone.
I like gadgets.
Girl, I also like gadgets. I do not have a drone. I don't know what your point is here.
You're not a true gadget fan.
Yeah, it's
Apparently.
true. Yeah, that's like the
I need a
initiation of
drone.
it.
I'm going to add a drone to my wish list. So Rollins asked the brother if his fingerprints might be on the bottle. So then Fisher reveals some information to us. He says, I thought that he was attacked, and I didn't believe that he was gay, but TMZ was threatening to out him. So he set up the attack to give him a way out, which I think is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
So odd.
But it also makes him a victim, and I get it from a publicity standpoint.
Right.
He kept
Yeah.
you can't keep digging that grave.
Yeah.
I'm also a publicist, so here's what you do. If you're gonna do it this way, you do the attack, you come out, then you start fighting for victims' rights and things.
Right.
You do not tell the story of the attack again.
Right.
You do not add details to the story.
You say, listen, I want to put this behind me.
right, and then you do things to help other survivors.
Right.
Because now you've gotten yourself the publicity that you wanted.
Yeah.
You came out on your own-ish terms, and you've done something positive with it.
Right.
You didn't go and screw over everyone else's case.
Yep.
But the thing is, people still would have investigated, and I think they still would have came to the outcome, because that was my reaction to the whole Jussie Smollett thing, because you're like, what was his motivation in doing that? And people are like, well, what was it? Somebody offered up, it's because he wanted more
He wanted
work?
He wanted more money on Empire. To be fair, I still believe Jussie Smollett was attacked.
Really? Ooh.
I don't know enough about it to say either way.
We'll talk about it in just a minute.
I have to disagree with that one.
Let's finish this. Let's finish this episode. So Fisher points out that if they hadn't found the guy, he would have been fine. Garland wants to go after Mathis, but if they do, in the future, people won't come forward. Hadid says, if other victims had spoken up originally, we wouldn't have needed this. We wouldn't have been in this situation. And Benson's like, listen.
Yes.
She goes, you're new.
You don't know.
We don't blame victims here. Ugh.
And Carisi's like, well, he's like just trying to mediate.
He tries to fix it. Benson's not going to let it go, but they can't run the rape kits without the victim's permission. Devon comes in because of Mathis. Even if I testify, no one will believe me. He reveals that apparently Jeffrey Morgan previously went down on him. I was like, this is information that could have been very helpful previously.
Huge.
So Carisi meets with Jeffrey Morgan and his lawyer, shows the photo, and tries to make a deal. He says, I want to make sure your client knows that, or knows all of this is going to come out at trial. And if he doesn't win, he's going to go to prison as a gay man instead of a straight man who attacks gays. I had a lot of issues with Carisi playing this card.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
It feels really offensive.
But you know what? This is not out of the norm for SVU to knock on that door.
Okay.
It's true.
Because in previous years, in previous season, I can't remember. You're the encyclopedia.
I'll tell you which episode.
Yeah.
Go on.
But remember, I think it was Olivia who actually said to somebody, like, well, they're going to, like, rape you or, like,
yes,
in prison. So it's similar to that feel.
Yeah, there's an episode where she's framed with her, where they can fake DNA, and the guy frames her for murder because he was raped in prison, and she had said during the interrogation that she will tell them that he did something and tell them to rape him.
Yeah.
See, she's so good. She's
It's all up here.
Publish this one.
I like this show.
Yeah.
So he takes a deal. Garland wants to file charges against Mathis. Benson's like, no, essentially. She
Straight up
explains,
no.
Yeah, the false reports are rare, and going after him will stop other victims from coming forward. And then Finn talks to him, and he's like, I don't know why you did what you did, but it's coming from a bad place. Also, if you hadn't come forward, we wouldn't have gotten to the guy anyway. So I know something was done to you. Not this thing, not this time, but what you got to deal with whatever happened to you in the past that brought you here.
I just wish we would have figured that out.
Earlier?
You know? No, even just at the end.
What happened to him?
Yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I just think I would have liked that to understand his character better.
I agree. I think that because of the true case that it's based on, you can't give a motivation because we don't know what it is. Exactly.
You don't want to empathize with them too much, I guess, in this particular episode because then, yeah, you don't want to agree with the motivation of why he did it.
Right.
So I kind of like that they touched on it but left it open.
I mean, it seems like, to look at this episode, having watched it now twice, it feels like what they were trying to say was, in this story, Mathis's brother did this to him so that he had a reason to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So and it be not his fault, I guess, that he had to come out.
Yeah.
It's just, this is the thing,
Yeah.
what I realized about the world. This is out the world.
Okay.
The truth is so much easier, everyone.
Right.
So much easier. Don't lie. Lie just is so complicated. And I mean, had he just gone out like to TMZ,
Right.
I actually think he would have been received positively.
Right.
Right? Even in
It's that
today's
fear, though.
It is that fear, but then you go on and
Do this.
orchestrate this
Yeah.
entire
Right.
and manufacture this entire hate crime thing, and it takes away from real victims of hate crime,
Right.
from real victims of homophobic crimes. So you're just, it's just so much,
Yes.
you know.
I'm gonna mix up our schedule a little bit real quick and let you know that there is a deleted scene where Ken is talking to Finn and Carisi. It is available on the SVU YouTube channel, so you can check that out for yourself. It was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Glad it was cut.
Mm-hmm.
But it's essentially rehashing a lot of parts of the episode all in one scene again.
We did get more Ken, though, which I
Yes.
always like to see more of Ken.
I do like more Ken.
Agree.
Let's talk about Noah.
Yeah.
Because he was at the beginning and the end. Noah
sandwich.
doesn't want to play baseball anymore. He wants to dance.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I didn't even like pick up on in the beginning. I just thought, oh, here's a kid just wants to change our extracurriculars. I didn't even catch it until the end where I felt like, oh, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to show that he can be part of an activity that has the stereotypical gender stigma attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't.
Tackle that toxic masculinity.
Right.
I having watched the second time I felt like it felt to me like the writers went, well, Stone's gone, so we don't have to do baseball
So we're
anymore.
not, thank God, we're not doing baseball anymore.
And then at the end they were like, also, it's okay if this kid grows up to be gay.
Yeah.
I don't know that we needed it. You guys all know I don't think we need more Noah ever. So, but I did appreciate them being like, screw Stone and baseball.
I liked that too.
I just want to
personally.
dance. So that was Noah.
Yeah, you do.
Also, like, I hope we get to see him dance. Also,
You want a Noah scene?
no, dancing. I want dancing.
I was like, whoa, this is new year, new you, Yael.
No, but I will say this. From what I understand, it's a lot of football players will do ballet because it helps with whatever skills you need for football.
Sport things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll be a football player later.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. This episode, if you haven't caught, was ripped from the headlines. That's right. I have a very brief story of what this headline is. For those who've been living under a rock. Jussie Smollett, or Smollett, how do you all say it?
You know, I think it is Smollett.
Whatevs.
Yeah. Same.
The guy from Empire.
The guy from Empire.
That one.
Who you may also realize is brother to Journey Smollett, who was in Full House as a child.
Oh.
That's where I know her from. She also went on to do other things and is still working. Their family works. They're like a industry family. That's what
They're all
thespians.
yeah. Okay, so it's been almost a year. On January 29th, I did not realize it was
It's
2019.
like almost anniversary.
Jussie Smollett told the police he was attacked in the early morning in Chicago's Streeterville. I don't know where that is. In Chicago, by two people that he falsely described as white men. This is a Wikipedia article. I'm not adding my own. I did not say the falsely accused, whatever. He's saying that they physically attacked him after racial and He was physically attacked after they shouted racial and homophobic slurs, poured an unknown chemical substance, possibly bleach, on him, not my words, and tied a rope around his neck. On February 20th, he was indicted for disorderly conduct consisting of allegedly paying two Nigerian-American brothers to stage a fake hate crime, assaulting him, and filing a false police report. His defense team reached a deal with prosecutors in March, in which all charges were dropped in return for him performing community service and forfeiting his $10,000 bond. And then March 27th, it was announced the FBI would be investigating as to why the charges were dismissed.
Interesting.
Basic story.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, there was kind of a response from, I think, the mayor of Chicago saying, like, this is just something that they're not going to really chase after because there's more, it's low ranking in terms of importance compared to actual, I guess, the harder crimes.
Yeah. I mean, whether or not he was attacked, I think there is still up for debate. Whether or not he paid for someone to attack him is still up for debate. And I think that whether or not he did it for publicity or rumor was that it was for them to keep him on Empire, not kill his character off, or to give him more money, or to give him more scenes or something like that, which just, to be fair, doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Ask your manager or agent to negotiate.
Right.
I don't know how being the victim of a crime gets you more work. That, A, doesn't make sense to me. And B, I would like to believe, and this is a Yael opinion, I would like to believe that a black gay man would not do this to his communities.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that.
Yeah.
And that is where I stand.
It was so cringeworthy because of the political landscape that we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. It touched on, I remember when people were posting on Facebook about this, how horrible this is, so racist, so homophobic. Mm-hmm. And then when the stories start to turn, then people are like, oh my gosh, he's a liar. He's just, he's capitalizing on this horrible tragedy that you take away from the victims. The story kept turning and
Yeah, it turned really fast.
turned
too.
fast. It was hard and fast. I don't know. I think also because it's such a high profile person, this is a situation we've seen before. I mean, when you hear about people who they stage these robberies or people they have these false rape reports, they will say, oh, the person who did it was a black guy or a gang of black guys. And there was never any guys at all that were at play. So this is not, I guess, we've seen it before on the flip side.
Right.
But I think because Jussie is it's a more high profile person,
Right.
It got nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of stories where they embellish, there's a really great episode where the girl, she is Jane. I can't remember the name of the episode, where she's in college and she was at Hudson, assaulted at in a frat house, and then she went to her advisor or there was a rape crisis counselor who told her, who said to her, one man, it was a gang of men.
Right.
And then in the end they were like, we need the details, and she goes, what does it matter how many? And Barbara goes, because that's what matters.
Right.
Great episode.
Yeah, that's a really good episode.
What is the episode called? Devastating Story. Thank you, Jonathan, in the booth, for pulling that up for us. I love it. All right. On that note, I want to get to the poll. But before we do that real quick, I will remind everybody of big news. The Paley Fest special aired this Thursday, and for those who watched it, it was wonderful.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. That said, I don't know that there was a lot of new information. Almost all those clips, I would say, in fact, every word out of Ice-T's mouth is in fact an interstitial video that has been aired on Ion channel when they do SVU marathons, specifically on Saturdays.
But we did get Chris Maloney back.
We
for a
did get
second,
Chris
so
Maloney.
That was cool.
And that was new information. His stories and additions to it was wonderful. So if you want to watch any of the Paley Fest special and you missed it, all of the interviews and clips are available on the SVU YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they're all there, and they have so many people talking. It's great, and they do a tour, and they show Benson's new office and the new desks that they sit at. It's really cute. Check it out while we wait for the new episode.
Yes.
All right, now the poll.
So last week we covered the episode with Ariel Winter. And so we had a poll, which, because there's been a lot of Modern Family stars also guest starring on SVU.
All from the Dunphy family.
All from the Dunphy family. That just can't get away from the show.
Yeah.
So we had Execution, which was season 3, episode 15. That was the one with Phil?
Oh, that was the one with Phil.
I forget his
Ty Burrell?
Thank you.
Yes, that was Ty Burrell's episode.
Great episode. We had Trials, which is the one with Julia Murphy. Is that her name?
Julie Bowen.
Julie Bowen. Wow, I
Nice.
don't know any names.
Oh, that's
Claire?
Claire.
Only
Claire,
know Modern
yep.
Family names.
Yes.
Sorry.
That one also had Luke Perry in it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And then we had Hot House. That's Sarah Hyland. I know that one.
Good job.
I love that episode. And then, of course, Darkest Journey
Which has Ariel Winter.
with Ariel Winter.
Good job.
So our coming in last place, we have a tie. Oh no, that's a lie. Sorry. Last place was Trials. That was your favorite episode.
Seriously?
So sorry. Yes.
What is wrong with you people? Execution was so much worse.
Yael loses every week, and it makes me very happy.
Thank you.
For second place, we have Execution and Darkest Journey Home.
Really?
Number 1, Hot House, of course. Yes, you guys are valid. That's the only correct opinion. Thank you so much for validating me.
I hate you right now. Go on.
Hot House is objectively the best episode. Anyway.
Disagree.
Yes. No, you can't disagree with that. But anyway, we have a new poll.
Yes.
This is what's your favorite episode with a musician, because obviously we had our boy Mathis in this one. So we have True Believers, that's season 13, episode 6. That's the one with, I forget her, the actor's name, but she's the piano player.
Oh, great episode.
With a lot of Andre Bauer in it.
Yes, she returns and is assaulted in Wonderland Story, I believe.
Yes.
Same girl.
It's a really good episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, all of these are pretty good. We have Dissonant Voices. That's our Billy Porter episode with
amazing.
the eggs that make noise.
The magic eggs.
Oh, yes,
vibrators.
that's right.
They're
It's a
vibrators.
great episode. And the singing competition. We have Dis, which happened 4 episodes ago with Snoop.
Dogg.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which Mariska did tell an amazing story about Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
on the Paley Fest.
Apparently, she's a big Snoop fan.
Oh, no way.
Obsessed. It's so funny. Look it up.
Yeah.
And then we have this one, which we just broke down. I hope that you know the plot of that one because, you've been watching it for about 45 minutes.
Also interesting that you left out the first Hayden Panettiere episode.
It's a great episode.
Also that you left out the Caleb Bryant and Sasha episode.
Yeah, there are 4 slots. But if you liked those better, leave us a comment and I'll shout those out.
I'm just saying it's odd that there are so many musician episodes. There's also the one with Deschanel, not Zoe, the other one, where she's a
Emily?
Sure. Bones. She's a
Yes.
cello, viola. I don't know the big instrument. Cello sounds
Cello.
right. Thanks.
The violin is not that big.
I don't know instruments. Hey, you know what I know? SVU. And I'm going to tell everybody next week we return with the mid-season premiere.
Yay!
It was a
Woohoo.
second part of the cliffhanger. But until then, Isabelle, thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. It's so great to be back. I'll be here and there.
Where can
Yay.
everyone find you on social?
So you guys can find me on Instagram at isabelle.do.
And you're going to start posting more bikini photos.
That's according to Yael, that's what needs to be done. Then I guess that's what needs to be done.
Awesome. Taylor, where can everyone find you and the poll?
You can find me on Twitter at alphabet_Ann and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. Do not look out for bikini pictures on my profile.
You can do it.
You can find me everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And you can not find, well, I think there are bikini photos. Not the point. The point is, we'll be back for more SVU next week. Bye.
Bye!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.